Hello.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Somebody in Los Angeles loves you. Is that what that
Oh,
shirt says?
you can read that? Yeah. It's from Jasmine Benjamin, her book on LA style, the LA regional
Yeah.
style. So she collaborated with Born and Raised, and she gave everyone that was in the book a t-shirt, and I think she gave us Converse shoes.
Cute.
Yeah, because it was, like,
That's so
sponsored
nice.
by, Converse and, I forget who, and she had it at, like, this really, like, nice gallery and everything a couple of months ago. But, yeah,
Amazing.
I know, it was
Amazing.
super long, so I cropped it. I'm
You
like,
cropped
and
it.
now that I'm going to the gym, I'm like, "Okay, I can start wearing things like this." So
I was out last night and
Mhm.
a lot of the boys had crops on, and I was like really into it. I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
My friend had a Shania Twain shirt on that he'd
Uh-huh.
cropped. And I was like, I was at the bar ordering a drink and I like looked over and he was like talking to somebody and I was like, he just looks so cute in that Shania Twain cropped shirt.
There's this really funny meme, it's like gays before going out to a function, and it's a guy taking scissors to a t-shirt. 'Cause it's like the easiest thing you can do to a thing, to like a
Yeah.
t-shirt. It's just like you either like just chop it up. There's a couple of different ways to modify something that you've already had. I did that for the 4th of July. Remember with that like with
Yeah.
the US printed shirt, with the flag shirt?
Yes.
It was super long and I'm like, okay, I can crop this, I can like burn the edges so it looks a little like tattered, and then I've been
Yeah.
wearing it consistently ever since then. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I crop a lot of my t-shirts too. I just find they're like so long. And I mean,
Mhm.
whatever with women's bodies, right? Like with our boobs, sometimes it like lays
Well,
weird or
yeah.
whatever.
It
So
creates like a
sometimes I'll
shelf.
just like, yeah, literally.
Mhm.
Oh my God. What have you been up to this week?
Well, my god, I woke up feeling a little under the weather. I went to my friend's, housewarming party last night, and it was fine. Like, I got back home at a reasonable time. I don't drink, so I'm not even, like, hungover or anything like that, but maybe it was what I, like, ate, and I'm not used to eating these type of things, like
Mm,
pizza and, like, chips and things like that. So
yeah.
it's not even that like, oh, like I eat clean nowadays. No, but it's like I think I went a little bit over because I don't eat that stuff, and I'm like when it's in front of me, I'm just like, oh, like I'm never gonna eat this again.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when you wake up and you're like your nasal passages are all dry and you feel off, you know.
hmm
So I feel off. I don't feel sick, but I'm also like, oh, this. But no, that and this past week was pretty eventful. Jeremy Scott invited the team and I to this Adidas party that he hosted. Yeah, so this past week on Thursday, Pablo, who does Jeremy's PR, he always invites the team and I to the Jeremy Scott events. So the first one was with I think Spoiled Child, and it
Mm,
was in some like downtown warehouse, and it like skincare. I didn't know anything about it, but Sophia, one of my assistants, my second assistant, she loves Jeremy Scott, loves Moschino, like loves
yeah.
Moschino, and wears it consistently, and she's been investing in it. So I always make sure to invite her every time that they invite me because I'm like, gotta I don't know. I feel like it's nice to share, but also I remember being that age and being like, when am I gonna go to these things, you know?
hmm
And I mean, I still feel like an outsider looking in with certain things, you know?
Yeah.
So it is really cool to be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, so this is what it's like to be partying with Jeremy, you know? And the really cool thing about it was hosted at the Universal's like at the back lot of Universal Studios where they
Oh.
like, where they filmed Desperate Housewives. So, the whole it was like a block it looked like a block party. It was so
Yeah,
interesting. It looked like a block party, and
that's cool.
it was on Wisteria Lane. So, we were partying, like, right it was really cool. And, yeah, that happened. So, I think and then there's been a lot of oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about Kylie Jenner's, Miu Miu campaign because that happened too. Like, I would have loved to have started like, yeah, let's start with that because
I I was yelling about this last night with my friend David. Um, I don't have anything to say.
No? At
That's
all?
not true. That's not true. I have a lot to
Uh-huh.
say. But
Yeah.
listen, it's not for me, and
Huh.
that's fine. I understand from a business perspective. Obviously, we talk about this often.
Mhm.
I get it. She's the right demographic for, the I think the girls that are buying Miu Miu. So it makes sense from a business standpoint. I understand the decision. Do I like the decision? No,
Mhm.
but I understand it. Um it just it also didn't feel it doesn't it just never and this is like something that other than Kendall, who's like a literal model, none of those brand partnerships necessarily ever feel authentic to me. Like Kylie wearing Miu Miu doesn't make sense. And
No.
I feel there's part of me that feels bad in a way because I understand she's changing and like, now she's dating Timothy Chalamet and she's like trying new things. And, it's like we've seen since we really have grown up with these women, especially Kylie and Kendall, since they're younger than us, watching them grow and do like the Coke bottle stuff and then try these different brands and be influenced by the men that they're dating. It's a lot to absorb. It's been a lot to absorb. I was just kind of bummed. Do you know, like, I'm just like, really, like, Miu Miu, like, do something better, like, do something cooler. I don't know, but again, like I said, to start, it's not for me necessarily, and I don't necessarily even have like that client. Like, I don't really work with like young women demographic
Mhm.
often, so I don't know. It's just sort of the dogs. I swear to God, I'm gonna lose it. Yeah, I don't know. And I didn't really even like the styling that much. I don't know. It was like it just felt forced to me, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is getting dragged.
Oh, the campaign? The
Mhm.
campaign?
I didn't realize I didn't see all of the images. I only saw like a couple of them. This is bad.
Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts. So, I think to take on what you said, the literal model, right? Like, who is the model? And I'm not talking simply about in this family, like, because we are talking about the family, the Kardashian Jenners. Yes, Kendall is the model. Why? She has the proportions that fits clothes off the runway and on the runway, right? But the take on Kylie being the model now, I think, is a runoff from what Anna Wintour started in the late 80s, right? Because of her idea behind who should be wearing clothes, not simply models, right? We all know what she did. She changed the game, put celebrities on the spotlight. She Anna Wintour, Gianni Versace, the people sitting on the front row started to change. It was no longer editors, it was celebrities and the celebrity clients that designers wanted to attract. Now, that's I think this the Anna Wintour effect of it all, right? Now we have Kylie who, we can say I like what you said. We grew up with her. Like she's growing into her own. There are, I'm assuming, a lot of societal pressures, a lot of aesthetic procedures that, this young lady had like has done. And I mean it's not it's public knowledge, right? Now, I think it does come across the campaign, back to the campaign, the Miu Miu Kylie Jenner campaign, it does come across as inauthentic. I told my friend yesterday, he works in the industry and he's one of the assistants to this really well known stylist, and he dragged the campaign, like dragged it. I told him that there are two polar opposites that are trying to meet, right? Kylie Jenner coming across as the everyday girl, right? And Miu Miu coming across as, well, rather, Kylie Jenner coming across as the quirky girl, right?
Mm,
And Miu Miu coming across as the everyday brand. That doesn't exist. That those are not things that we as consumers and as viewers have been accustomed to seeing. You know, it's like
yeah.
we know that. I mean, hey, listen, I don't know who will get to hear this, but I'm personally not the most. I'm not the biggest fan of Amelia Gray. But she made sense for Miu Miu. You know what I mean? Like Dochi makes sense for Miu Miu. Shit, Alex Consani makes
Consani?
sense. Yeah, makes sense for Miu Miu. Like those, I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. Like I'll look at what's in store. Like really, like literally, I'll look at what's in store. I'll go and check it out. By the way, Miu Miu prices are insane. Like sometimes yeah, no, they're insane.
Say
But
that.
yeah, I saw their items at Dover Street Market in downtown LA at the Arts District, and I'm like, I think one, little chonies, the embellished little panties were like $3,000 or $4,000. I'm like, all right, whatever, do you? But but this idea that Kylie Jenner is the quirky like girl, you know, I'm like, it's not. I'm not buying it. I'm literally not buying
No.
it, and it comes across as forced. It comes across as inauthentic. I do like what you said about, you know, this isn't my client. Like I don't have any clients that are that would be into this, and it would be interesting to see what that does for numbers, you know? Like it, but at this point it's like I don't know, it just seems like it seems like Miu Miu is just forcing itself to be relevant, and it doesn't have to. That's the thing, you know? It's like uh I saw something, a commentary from one of my favorite accounts, Fat Anna Wintour. Do you follow her? So Fat Anna Wintour posted this yesterday, and she said that I think there is this we're you know, I think as a society, as consumers of certain items and of certain products and brands and whatever it is, we tend to be protective of that item's legacy, right?
Yeah.
Or that personality's legacy. Like, no, 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 you can't touch this. You're not deserving of that. Even if you yourself are not the one buying it, you're still a part of the story. You're still a part of the image, and that, you know, it happens with Selena Quintanilla, it happens with Princess Diana, it happens with, you know, we saw it with Jane Birkin's Birkin bag, where people were like, God forbid Kim K buy it, God forbid, you know, Lauren Sanchez make it's like, what's it to you, really? You know,
Yeah.
it's like they have the funds, like they can do whatever they, anyone under the sun can do whatever they want, you know. uh but Anastasia, Fan Anna Wintour, she brought up a very interesting point about how people feel over, you know, who Timothy Chalamet should be dating, and now who Miu Miu should be catering to, you know, and there is a very strong rejection of this family, you know, the Kardashian Jenners, but at the end of the day, you know, we're still talking about it. So it's creating a buzz. There is backlash, but also, you know, no one died in this, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I personally like aesthetically, it did it look I one last thing I'll say. Um it looked like she's in The Sims, like, the pose and everything.
No.
Like, she looked like
Yes.
a sim. The facial expression, I'm like, "Girl, like"
No, I know that it's just so strange and, like, and
bad.
it's weird because, I just watched Hanan's little story on it, and, it's really interesting because I so agree with him in that, yeah, it looks like a Sims, it doesn't feel authentic to her, and when we think about yeah, and again, I said, like, people can change, tastes change as you get older or whatever, but the other campaigns that we've seen her do and the other brands that she wears
Yes,
often, like
yes.
Mugler and
Mhm,
Schiaparelli even whatever, I have my own thoughts on that. But, it's like that acne campaign that she did
mhm.
felt, even though it's Kylie Jenner doing a fucking campaign, again, it's business. I understand it. It's just annoying to me. But, that made sense. It felt like those things were more aligned. And yeah, what's interesting is that Miu Miu at this point, Miu Miu does not need Kylie Jenner. Miu Miu is, I think it's like one of the top 3 selling luxury brands. Like it's massive.
Yeah,
It's absolutely massive. And they don't need her. And she certainly doesn't need them. So I'm really curious as to why this partnership happened. Not to mention on the inauthenticity, the clothes that they put on her are just so strange and it doesn't look like anything she would wear in, public Kylie Jenner mode or private. Like it just and the fits were off and the whole thing was just a mess. And I just
no. Yeah.
like why? 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 Money, but why you don't need each other. And you're not I can't imagine that Miu Miu is getting a new demographic by
Mhm.
putting Kylie in the ads because that's also, sometimes in business it's like, "Oh, we want to open up the demo. We want to reach a new audience." Whatever. They already have that audience. So I don't know. It's just a very, very strange choice. The whole thing is strange.
Yeah, no, it did not look good. It just doesn't look good, you know what I mean? And it's like
Yeah.
for for fashion as and for like as demonstrative as it is, you want people to buy the things that are on the people in the campaigns. And this nothing about that makes me like, "Oh, yeah." Nothing, I have to say. So
No.
it didn't I think it's a flop, but
Flop.
it's it was a flop. You know? Like, what is
Yeah, my friend
um,
David and I were talking about it last night, and I was just like,
mhm.
"Girl, why? Why?" Yeah, I don't know.
On
I don't
another
know.
note, what who was your gosh, remember that screenshot that I sent to you? What's her Pigeon? Sarah Pigeon? Is that her name?
Oh,
Can we talk
yeah,
about
Sarah Pigeon and Prada at the I Know What You Did Last Summer premiere.
Mhm,
Yeah, and that's, here's the thing, right? Like she got cast
mhm,
as Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, a fashion icon, and I think that they're really going to start to push her as, a star. She's a great actress. She's absolutely beautiful.
mhm,
She changed stylists. She's working with a new stylist. And she also, I told you, is working with like one of the top glam teams now. She's working with a makeup artist whose name is Nina Park,
mhm,
who Nina is incredible and works with Zoe Kravitz. And, she's worked with Margot Robbie. And her hairstylist is now Bryce Scarlett, who also works with Margot and has a huge, amazing clientele list. So it's cool to see Sarah's, sort of, I guess like star elevate,
mhm.
and it's been nice to see her trajectory, which is I think she deserves and everything. But man, that Prada was it was funky. Somebody said that it looked like it was upside down, and I was like, "Yeah, it kinda does in a weird way." You know what's interesting is I meant to look it up to see. I don't know if it was on Runway or not. Do you know if it was shown on the runway? I have
I
to look
hope it
this up.
I really hope it wasn't because
You know, I'd be curious to see how it was styled because the way that they styled it for this, I thought the boots were really cute. The
it l it
the
looks like a
dress
potato
was just
sack.
it
Like,
literally does.
it
Yeah.
looks like a potato sack, like, this reminds me I posted it, right? Because someone was like, "What the actual F?" Just, on the comments, and
Man.
I posted it, and someone was like, "Oh, you should post the photo of Marilyn Monroe wearing the potato sack," and that's a really funny story for the people, listening. Uh Back in the day, Marilyn was panned in, I forget the newspaper, but a journalist said something to the effect of, you know, this woman is always, scantily clad, and that's the only reason why anyone is paying attention to her. And Marilyn, in turn, had her own photo shoot where she wore a potato sack, basically like to say, I could wear a potato sack and people would still be talking about me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and Jeremy Scott made the potato sack again, like for his own label. He took that
Yeah,
image
that's
and
right.
made a potato sack t-shirt dress. But anyway, so yeah, back to Sarah Pigeon. It, it just, she's a gorgeous woman, but this dress is quite possibly one of, I don't know who, I don't know who convinced her to leave the house like this.
I mean,
Um,
her team, her stylist, she's
right.
working I told you she's working with Emma Morrison now,
Yeah.
who Emma styles Jonathan Bailey and has a bunch of other great clients, and they
Yeah.
chose it.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, I wanna see. I'm gonna look it up to see if it was shown on Runway or not. Because
Okay.
like, where did this thing come from?
Yeah, where? Um,
We need to know.
the next I also wanted to talk about Rihanna's kids wearing. Did we talk about this? Because her kids
No, we
are.
haven't talked about this specifically. I talked about it last night again with my
Oh
friend
my god, you
David.
did? Okay, so tell me what is
Yeah.
okay, so
Oh, we're so into it.
yeah, Rihanna is showing up with her kids to the Smurfs premiere in LA. So Rihanna
Yeah.
voices one of the characters,
Smurfette.
and she voices Smurfette. And her kids, Riot Rose and RZA Athelston,
RZA, yeah.
RZA. Okay, so RZA RZA. So, Riot Rose Mayers and Riza Athelston Mayers, Rihanna's babies, are, I mean, looking as glam as she is, but I believe it's Riot Rose who's wearing like Jonathan Anderson's debut collection for Dior.
They both are.
They
I think
both
both the
are.
kids were in Dior. Yeah. And she was in what was she wearing? She's wearing,
I believe she's
was
wearing
she in
Saint Laurent.
Chanel? Saint Laurent, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. So she was in the Saint Laurent, and then yeah, the kids were in little itty bitty miniature versions of Jonathan Anderson's Dior, and I love it. It's so I just thought it was so cute and so funny, and I like of course Rihanna and ASAP Rocky's kids are going to be the first to wear,
yeah.
you know.
Fucking baby couture. I'm a
It looked in the proportions too, in
mhm.
those sizing, like the pants with the the pleats
Yup,
on the
yup.
side and the little like top.
Mhm.
I oh my gosh, yeah, my friend and I were talking about it last night and we were just like we loved it. Like what a I don't know. It's like have you know what? Have fun. And that's we've talked about this so often on this pod where it's just like Jonathan Anderson is just it's like, he's just having fun and you can tell, right? And it's just like, yeah, the kids are going to the Smurfs premiere and let's put them in Dior.
what I love about this is that these little outfits are not gonna fit them in a week. You know what I mean?
No
Because
way. Yeah.
kids grow up
Yeah.
so fast, and that's it. And what I love about it most is that they'll probably end up in some display somewhere, for Dior in the future, like,
Mhm.
give it, like, 10 years or something like that,
Yeah.
And
Save it for
it'll
the new kid. She's pregnant.
and she's yeah, maybe oh my god, imagine being the baby and seeing the Jonathan Anderson Dior hand-me-downs and being like, "Why do I get this?"
Yeah. Insane.
I love that.
Insane.
I love that. How man, how just the privilege, right, of having that. But it's Rihanna and it makes sense. So, yeah, I also oh my god, I was so Jasmina came over with David, Jasmina TV, and, her partner in crime, and we were talking about Jonathan Anderson's Dior, we were talking about Glenn Martin's debut for Margiela, and there was an interesting topic about we were talking about the overexhaustion that might happen. I think this was like a topic of discussion when people found out exactly how many collections Jonathan Anderson was going to be designing in a year. And it's like 40, right?
It's a lot.
And then I remember they brought up a very interesting point. Jasmina said it that during the pandemic, right? Like there was this sort of mission statement that Marc Jacobs made where he said he was going to start producing less and really like a call for action to the entire industry to like lessen the collections and really shift the calendar, because two couture collections, God knows how many ready to wear collections, the cruise, so I uh I don't know. I always get so nervous talking about this because the allure of seeing Jonathan Anderson's debut for Dior has, I don't know, like it's kind of lulled, you know? And the spectacle that was Margiela, the artisanal, I feel like that's people you again, it seems like polar opposites are it's the running theme, It's like how do you
Mm.
create something how do you create an item that's sustainable yet creates this impact online because that's what
Yeah.
people want, and if, like a viral moment, maybe Miu Miu wanted a viral moment with Kylie and they got it, but it didn't pan out, I think, the way that they wanted it to, or maybe
Yeah.
that was like a covert plan all along, but but we were talking about the push and pull, and Jasmina said she was like, not and I think this was an undertone with Jonathan Anderson's debut where, you had to really look at the details of the items in order to understand them. But I don't know, the average consumer, even the average like user online is not looking at that. We were talking about Moschino as well, and I think what's his name? Adrian, the creative director
Oh,
of
yeah. Yeah, I think something like that.
yeah,
I
it's
don't really follow.
right, right, right. And it's like, I don't think that's gonna last. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna last. I think we might watch. I don't know. Give it like two more seasons, and I think
Mm.
this will be it.
Hmm.
Because it's not I think people are obsessed with recreating the past, and,
Mm.
I think nostalgia in that sense and it's interesting for me as a vintage dealer because I'm like, I do depend on some nostalgic factor, but also, like, we have to keep it pushing. Let me see who the creative director is on of Moschino. Current director, current creative.
Yeah, I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah. his name is Adrian Appiolazza. So Adrian Appiolazza is, I believe he's from Argentina. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think Appiolazza. Yeah, he was born in Buenos Aires. Yeah. So
Cool.
Adriana Piolazza is the current creative director of Moschino. He was born in Buenos Aires, and he is a huge collector of vintage. Him and his partner have some of the world's rarest Margiela, Comme des Garçons. You saw,
Yes.
right? You saw.
Yes, there was a big article that who did that? Was
I
that
bel
Vogue
No, I believe it was another
that they met
magazine.
with?
It might have been another
Yeah,
it might have been
I
another
read
magazine.
that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So he has this huge archive, impressive. But I think the theory is that Moschino Corporate is not allowing Adrian to fully take it there, because
Mm.
he has the ideas. But I think they really, and Moschino and Jeremy Scott, I don't know what their relationship is like now, but I don't think it ended well,
No,
and
I don't
right.
either.
What makes you say that? What makes you think that?
Well, I mean, it's been a while obviously since
Mhm.
Jeremy left, but I think wasn't it like pretty abrupt? I have a vague memory, but we talked about it I think on the podcast. Did we not?
Girl, we talk about a lot of things.
We talk about everything. But no, I think it felt like abrupt. And yeah, what's Jeremy doing now? I mean, you were just with him this week, but like
Yeah, I know, right?
what
I was with Jeremy.
is he still has his design, right? And is he still doing stuff with Adidas or no?
I think he might. I was talking to Priscilla, my assistant, the other day about what Jeremy and how Jeremy is staying in the public eye and how we're still talking about him, despite him not creating for Moschino right now. He did have his exhibit, where he showcased some of his best designs. And I think he has such a playful mind and a great perspective on this camp that he just embodies it. He doesn't, it's not even like, I want to say, okay, like some of like, I'm not like a huge fan of all of the things that he made for Moschino, but there is something to be said about him taking this campiness to the extreme and
Mhm.
still like and making it work. You know what I mean? And I think it was like for the time that these items came out, it was, people went crazy, like the Moschino McDonald's, the Moschino Barbie, the Moschino dry clean, all these like thematic, like,
Mhm.
the universe of Moschino, kind of like what Karl Lagerfeld did with Chanel. So, and then, oh, also, fun fact, Karl Lagerfeld was really good friends with Jeremy Scott, and
Mm.
Karl once said that if there was anyone that should take over Chanel, it should be Jeremy, And so I think now Jeremy is kind of doing the same thing as Marc Jacobs, being incredibly vocal online, like showing up and playing and, yeah, just staying in that manner youthful. You know what I mean? Where
Mhm.
they don't take themselves at all seriously. Marc Jacobs is playing with his nails. He's had them for now going on 2 years, I think. Like, he debuted them at one of the Met Galas, and then he just kind of stuck with them. But it's funny, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I love social media for this aspect because it's completely allowed us to see these, designers and creative directors who we, grew up with and who we once thought were like unreachable. And now I'm like, oh, you know, we're in their DMs, we're like chilling with them at events. And I'm like, that's what Jeremy's doing. Like,
Mm.
he's maintaining that relevancy by staying tapped into the youth culture,
Sure.
And
Yeah.
in turn, that drives, I think, the curiosity and the interest of, well, what are you going to do next?
Mm.
And what are it's like we saw Marc Jacobs' last collection, and I think Marc is one of the only designers out, well, few designers out there that's still doing it his own way, and not necessarily resting on his laurels, but he seems to be big time chilling. His last collection was a hit, and I mean, we're still talking about him, and I think that's kind of a goal of anyone, you know, that's putting themselves out there, like the being a part of the conversation still. And
Yeah,
there was an interesting on that there was an interesting topic that came up about how Gen Zers and Gen Alpha refuse to be a part of the conversation because of cancel culture and because of this universal critic culture where they feel as if, and you and I didn't grow up with social media. We're still like, I think Gen Xers are in the distance sirens.
yeah.
I think Gen Xers are the last generation that grew up both with like more of like the world without social media and the introduction to it, whereas you and
Yeah,
I millennials, like we were introduced fairly, not even like late, but like in middle school, people had computers, the internet, we grew up with like that. But Gen Zers and Gen Alpha is like that's all they know, and there's this very interesting conversation. I'll send it to you. This teacher, he says that he's seeing a lot of his students not taking risks on themselves for fear of being criticized and for fear of looking as if they're trying too hard, and this will have lasting effects. We're not seeing the effects right now, but this is gonna have lasting effects, I believe, on the type of art that we're going to be seeing in the future, right? And by the future I mean 25 years from now,
yeah,
and the type of art, the type of music, the type of fashion. During the pandemic, there was an emphasis on digitalizing everything and how, we had to like come up with AI concepts for like our clothing. None of that like really materialized. Now we're having another issue with AI, but I'm curious to see what happens to in this space, like in this like for culture, and I don't know. I mean, I could go on and on about this, but um I I'm fearful and I'm hopeful,
hmm.
like I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, it's gonna be all okay, like it's gonna be, But I feel like that's where I stand. I'm fearful and I'm hopeful because for every push there's a pull, and
Mm.
I I made a joke the other day. I'm like, we don't need more influencers, we need cobblers. Like
Literally, it's it's really it's interesting what you said about, you know, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, thinking about like if the kids aren't taking risks, if the kids aren't putting themselves out there, if the kids aren't, yeah, like learning trades or making art or, if they're scared to fail or whatever. Yeah, it's like what is that, what lasting effects will that have? Yeah, will that have?
Yeah,
I'm thinking, yeah, again, like thinking about the art and the fashion and the literature.
yeah,
I mean, are you kidding? Oh
yeah,
my god, actors? If these kids don't want to if they don't want to put themselves out there and fail, like we're actors and musicians and all, that's really wild.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
really really wild. But yeah, saying we need cobblers. I mean,
Oh.
yeah, we need cobblers, we need doctors, we need nurses, we need seamstresses, we need, yeah, trades.
Oh
Yeah,
god, I would.
what are these kids gonna do? What are they gonna do?
It's yeah, I mean, and I don't, it's like I don't. I don't blame them either. I don't blame, like, what they're
No.
going through. No, it's unfair to do that to our to the youth because I was young once, I was in that position where I thought I knew it all and, like but it's so important to keep these dreams alive, and it makes me emotional because I sound like Bella Hadid. It makes me I didn't have Louboutins when I was growing up. Um it makes me emotional because, Jasmina and David were here and they were like, "Man, I don't think it's worth it for us to continue with our own podcast." They have their own. And I'm like, "Guys, no, please. Like you have to. Like you have to." Like I gave them the example. I gave them us as an example. I'm like, "We're doing this because we want to talk about it. Like we like just a conversation that to have, and I'm like, you guys are, Jasmine and David, I told them, I'm like, y'all are both very knowledgeable. You have the savoir faire to back it up. They're both designers by trade,
Mm,
and I told them, I'm like, you would be doing the public and your audience and everyone in this like a disservice by not putting your ideas out there, and that's what I mean by the push and pull of it all, because there has to be cultural commentators. Like critics are just as important as the creators, really, even though it's like we're not going to like every critique, we're not going to like everything that everyone creates, and that's totally fine, but we've built this culture around forced accountability,
mm.
online, and it's like it's having long last. That's the fear that comes into play for me. I'm like, it's creating this like what long lasting effects is this having? Like you said, if the kids aren't taking risks, then a great idea, a great dream, might never go into fruition. So please take risks. It's like, I always say this to myself and I say this to my team. I'm like, and I hear it all around, and maybe it sounds cliche, but it doesn't matter how many times you fall, it's how you get back up, really. Like Miu Miu will survive.
Shut up.
We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
We were. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh man,
It
it's so fucking corny. It's just like I'm
is.
so tired. It's so corny. And
Humanity is corny.
humanity is so corny. But here's the thing, I meant to say this earlier too, like back to this fucking campaign. It's
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
the other girls in the campaign make sense. And don't get me wrong, like I understand like Myhala isn't as famous as Kylie Jenner. Like I know that. I know that Lou Doylan isn't as famous as Kylie Jenner. But it's those girls make sense. Do you know? Like that is a good like fit, I feel like. And yeah, man, Mew Mew, you know, yeah. Doesn't matter how you fall.
It doesn't matter how you fall, it matters how you get back up, and it's like, that's
Make better choices.
please, please, but that's it's like that's the parallel that I wanna draw. It's like, look at these big ass brands and, like, the gaffes that they make and all these things. It's like, you will be fine if you put yourself out there, if, like, I
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
post and ghost, like my queen
Post
said.
and ghost. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, on another topic,
Yeah, what's up?
did you see how are you feeling about Chanel having their runway show in New York?
I think is it my god, okay. So you might have to elucidate me on that because I briefly saw it all in like
Yeah.
the ether that is the
Yeah, yeah,
internet,
yeah.
and I did, yeah, okay, great. So what can you tell me? Because is it gonna be for Matthew Blasy's debut? Okay,
Yes.
fresh. Okay,
Yes.
okay, now
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
getting into it. Tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so Chanel announced, this week that they're they're coming back to New York. So, yeah,
Wow.
so I don't know if it's gonna be his debut collection. I don't think it's the debut because it feels late actually, but on December 2nd, yeah, Chanel's Métier d'Art line will host its 2025-2026 runway show in New York City. Which is very cool. So it says the house's annual artisanal collection highlights the work of artisans and cultures around the world, with past international destinations like we know in China, Rome, Dakar, many more. The December show is a welcome return to the Big Apple, which previously showed its viral ancient Egypt inspired 2018 collection at the Met under Karl Lagerfeld.
Mm,
So, yeah, it's been, let's see, 7 years since Chanel's shown in New York. So
okay.
yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, okay, so here it is. So yeah, Mathieu's debut collection hits the runway October for Paris. So it'll
Oh,
be
okay.
after. So this is, I guess, the second
Oh, I see,
show
I see.
in December.
Wow.
Hmm.
They're really teasing the
Yeah,
public.
I know. I saw that news come in and I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what a decision.
Jesus Christ. Coming off the heels of that terrible haute couture collection, like, please, it's just like stop. Like maybe give it a rest until we see that would have been lovely. You know what I mean? I'm like, come up with something. Like I'm begging y'all for a gimmick. like, you know,
Begging y'all for a gimmick.
please give me a gimmick and not these terrible tweet sets anymore. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and that was, Carl was great at that. So I think having Mathieu makes sense, I guess, in Paris. Like, yes, it's the home of Chanel. Uh we'll see what happens in New York. I'm like, well, what's it like? If there's an American flag somewhere in there, I'm just gonna throw my phone out the window. Like I
No,
what
no, of course not. I don't think so.
oh okay.
Yeah, no, it'll be you in your American flag shirt.
I don't know. This whole thing is like it's coming across as another iteration of Maria Grazia Cutie's Dior. You know what I mean? I'm like, we've seen it. We don't want to see it anymore. Like, please, I'm begging you. You have the resources to do something great. But I think, and someone said this, maybe it was Haute Le Mode, where I don't know, or I forget who theorized that they're waiting to make their big impact with Mathieu, and
Yeah,
yeah, that makes sense. So we'll see. And
yeah.
we'll see who shows up at the Chanel New York show. It's going to be in September, right? You said?
December. So his Paris debut is in September. And then yeah, the Metier show is in December in New York.
Oh.
So that, yeah, it's the show that they kind of like travel around the world and stuff. So um yeah, so debut soon.
Mm,
Debut, what, it's July?
mm-hmm.
Couple months.
Yeah.
In like a month and a half, we're gonna get Mathieu's first Chanel show. I am personally very, very excited.
Yes, me
Um,
too.
I'm
Me
looking very
too.
forward.
I'm actually, yeah, same. I'm in that same sentiment because I it took me a while as a consumer and as a collector to warm up to Chanel because of my own perceived judgment of self. It's like growing up, I was surrounded by so much fake Chanel and Louis Vuitton, and I'm just like I couldn't distinguish back then what was real and who was wearing what. And then,
Yeah,
you come to find, or at least I came to find, who actually was my like biggest intro to Chanel, and this is why it's so important to have representation in fashion and in entertainment. Lil Kim, like Lil Kim,
say that.
wearing
Ugh,
1990 what like 5 Chanel and 1997 Chanel, and I'm like, okay, like what is this, and
yeah,
I had someone introduce me to uh like her style because remember I grew up very religious and very evangelical, and TV and like the outside world was bad, so
yeah.
I had no idea who Lil Kim was until I was in like high school.
Oh my god.
So I like so I have I'm basically catching up, you know? But that was my introduction to Chanel, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like, and then seeing what Carl created and knowing the backstory of it, I think it's very telling as well of, like, the times that we're living where
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
the doors have been flung open, and I think we were talking about this yesterday. I was at my friend's housewarming party, and the duality that social media exists in, it's like it can be very uh it can be an amazing tool to get our ideas across, and then like
Yeah.
have people talking about it. But then there's that, like, the undercurrent of holy shit, like, people are assholes. Like, what I mean? You realize this as you
Yeah.
come across, various individuals. But yeah, back to the collection. I'm just as excited as you are because I have developed a very, like, a place for, like, a soft spot for Chanel and, like, all of its iterations. I completely blocked out Virginie Viard's Chanel. Like, I really did. I really did. There was nothing there that resonated with me. And once I actually got to touch the items, I'm like, no, you're selling me, like, there's a saying in Spanish, you're selling me, like, a cat disguised as a hare. It's
What?
like,
How do you say it in Spanish? What's the,
ah,
like, phrasing?
me estás dando gato por liebre. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, and it comes from, like, it's like a really old, 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 old term where the meat vendor this is so funny. Like, the meat vendors would, skin cats and sell them at the market and disguise
As
them as
rabbit?
rabbits, yeah. Mhm. "Me está dando gato por liebre." It's like, you're selling I know, like, this isn't it, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
I'm like, I was in Paris and I go into, like, the last collection that I was like, "Wow, this is amazing," was, of course, an homage to Karl Lagerfeld, where, Kaya Gerber came out and she was wearing that cropped, like, white button down with, Chanel on the pockets, and they made a beach somewhere, and they came out with, like, the double saddlebags, and I was in
Mhm.
Paris. I went to the Chanel store there, and the girl was like, "Oh, yeah, like, trying to sell me the bags," and I'm like, "Sure, I mean, I could've gladly, I'll buy it." And then I start touching the quality, and coming from collecting vintage and actually feeling, like, the textures, the weight, and seeing it up close, I'm like, "Oh, this doesn't hold a candle to what we
No.
were." No, at all, at all. I'm like, it feels like plastic. I'm like, this is not kid leather. Kid leather is supposed to feel like butter, and we could talk about this on another, podcast, but the way that this house of cards is also falling, like, the industry standard for luxury is not up to par with what we're being sold and what we're, like, seeing. Loro
Yeah.
Piana is under fire, Dior is under fire, a lot of the Milanese production companies, the manufacturers are under fire. Loro Piana is selling coats for $3,000. They cost 120 euro to make, and they're paying their employees €5 a day. No,
Yeah.
no, no. There has to be there needs to be a change to this, and that's just what we know.
Right. Exactly.
That's just what we know.
Exactly.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. I hate.
Yeah, we were talking about this, yeah, my
Mhm.
friend, we were having, like, a fun, like, fashion catch up.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, it was, like, one of those things we covered, like, everything because I haven't seen him in a while,
Mhm.
and yeah, and we were talking about Chanel because he was like, "I'm so excited for Met You," and I was like, "Oh my god, we can't wait," and then we were like, "Okay, like, what's the, like, the, like, landmark bag gonna be?" Because he did such great work when he was at Bottega. And so it was like just think we were like, oh my God, like what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? And that's the thing, right? Is we were kind of laughing about it because it's like famously, we've talked about it on this podcast before, where yeah, the quality, I mean, across the board in luxury, fashion, the
Yeah.
qualities are all down, but specific to Chanel, like the bags, it's like I have faith. I have faith that Mathieu is going to come in and kind of change that up a bit. I think
Mhm.
that we will start to see a change in the quality of the bags there, but man, yeah, and it's like, we've talked about like the hardware like breaking down and not lasting as long and like the leathers and it's yeah, it'll be really interesting. It'll be
Yeah,
really interesting. And just
definitely.
obviously with on our side, right, in America with these tariffs that Trump keeps threatening.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
like, 30% or whatever for luxury goods maybe coming from Italy. Excuse me. These luxury goods coming from Italy or wherever. It's like, yeah, if it's a Loro Piana, $10,000 sweater or jacket or what have you, plus like the markup when the manufacturers that, the people that make it or, it's like the actual cost of good is nothing. It's just I'm going to stop shopping. I
Yeah,
think I
Loro
you
Piana
know,
can
like
burn in hell, you know?
oh,
Loro Piana
hot
can
take.
burn in hell. Yeah, they Mhm.
It's a I we're in a Brunello household.
Okay,
I'm in a
okay.
Brunello household. I
Yeah.
prefer to spend my money with Brunello, I will
Yeah,
say.
okay.
But I do like Loro, but yeah,
Mhm.
that like those numbers coming out, I saw those too.
Yup. Burrs not being paid, the farmland where they get their vicuña from,
Huh?
which is in the family of the llama, the alpaca, is being subsidized and taken over by Laurel Piana. Like, talk about a mass vacation. Like, this is like
Yeah.
neo-colonialism under the guise of no, 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 no. And in Peru, no. And the thing is that like, and we not to go off on a tangent or anything like that, but it's it reminds me of the same problem that we're having with quinoa, where quinoa is a South American staple, and people in Peru cannot afford quinoa anymore where it comes from, that's not okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because it's
whoa.
because of like the high demand that I don't know how it is right now, but a couple of the reports that I read said that it's almost like coffee in El Salvador, where I'm
Yeah.
from. It's like
Yeah.
w- native Salvadorans can't afford the coffee that they fucking make because it's all for distribution worldwide for the America for North America, for the United States, and for Europe. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, tell me that somehow that isn't not that how is the system not broken? You know what I mean? And then so back to Laurel Piana, I'm like, damn, like y'all are really selling me or trying to sell me a $5,000 coat that you made for $120 that you paid people that you're not paying people for that you're not paying people for.
Mhm.
Yeah, that gets me heated, because
Yeah. I can tell.
it does. As I hold a Chanel gun, like, to my that
Bang, bang.
that that does it does get me heated because I don't come from a place of privilege. I didn't grow up privileged, so it's like it directly affects the people that are my family members, literally, and the people in the larger community. So,
Mhm.
in a perfect world, everyone would get a fair pay for what they do. and there would be more transparency, you know?
Yeah.
It's like we've been under the guise of the made in Italy, and it's like, girl, just because you stitched on a piece of like leather in Milan, but you imported these things from Guangzhou or like Lima
Mhm.
or what? No, bro, the greed,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's everywhere. It's like, did we not learn about the what happened to John Galliano? They squeezed the life out of this man, and that's where I'm fearful with Jonathan's position, you know?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. So everything's connected. You know, right? Vivian Westwood said it the best. Everything's connected, and then there's a beautiful Buddhist saying that I love that I think about quite often. The cloud in the sky is now the water that's in your tea. You know, it's like you
Mm.
don't think this affects you, of course, you know. So I hope that the youth comes up with ways to make this world a better place. Cause girl, I'm on my way out.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm on my way.
hopefully. Oh my god. Wait, did you see that thing that I posted?
What did you post?
Was that this week or last week? No,
Wait,
it was Monday.
remind me, cause
I posted
was
a
it
story.
morbid?
Yes, I
I
was on the freeway and I was behind like a flatbed like semi that
with
was
logs,
carrying
like with the
yeah, it was carrying like sewage pipes
yeah.
and they were all kind of like strapped down to this flatbed and I was like took out my phone and took a photo and posted it and I was like,
If only.
honestly, I'm ready.
Yeah, I saw.
Like my final destination, like I'm ready. Just like take me. Like
Yeah,
let's do this.
I saw that, and I was like, "Oh,
Oh my
damn,
god.
she's going through it."
I had a hell of a day on Monday and I was like, I no, like just let's get it over with.
It's really it's really interesting because we say that now, right? Like, "Oh god, just let the big meteorite just do its thing." Just like, let's, you know? I I don't know if you saw the news, the Delta flight that caught on fire, the plane that caught on fire?
Oh dear.
Yeah,
No. When was that?
like
Recently?
yeah, like 2 days ago,
Oh no.
leaving LA, and
No.
2 of my clients were on that flight, so, that's how I found out. Cause
No.
2 of my clients started posting it on their stories, and I'm like, "Are you what the actual fuck?" That and they were live, but they Brooke, you know what I mean? And it's like, it is literally my biggest fear embodied. I'm like, I would've just died, like, then and there,
We
but,
just
like,
talked about this.
oof. But yeah, you know, it's interesting because I've been reading a lot about the subconscious mind and like the ego and why we future trip and why you know, future tripping, like negatively thinking about the future and why we do that and why we like why the mind refuses to be in the present moment, you know, and why we look at the back. And it's interesting because, you know, I think I told you, right, like the run-in with well that experience that I had with Lucas where he jumped into traffic and, you know, thinking about it, we could have both gotten hit by a car. Big higher power, it doesn't happen. But the ego refuses to die, you know, like the ego is like it thinks that the world revolves around itself, you know. So yeah, like
Mhm.
I say, like, oh god, please just like take me now. That, and I'm fine, you know, there's a great line by Stephen Hawking's the astrophysicist, and he said, "I'm not afraid to die, but I'm not in a rush to die yet." You know? It's
Mhm.
like I'm like, I wanna see things, I wanna experience things, and I wanna see, you know, this idea that I have for the world to be a better place, you know,
Yeah.
and for
Yeah.
people to create and for, you know, but it can be again that wave of just feeling completely overwhelmed by everything. But then, you know, one of my clients, she said she was like, "This was the scariest thing that I've been through. I wasn't ready to go yet, and it was such a beautiful day." Like, it was such a beautiful day outside, you know? And I'm like, No, I have to take more risks, like risks in involving business and creative ideas, and because we never know, and
No?
yeah. So here we are on a Sunday.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, no, I did not hear about that flight. That's crazy. That's crazy. Why is all this shit happening? I mean, I know why. We know why. But like,
Oh,
girl,
I mean, there can
ugh, but
yeah,
they landed safely and everybody was okay?
yeah. Everyone was okay. Everyone was okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
My god, is he pink right now?
He's a pinky boy.
Cute.
No,
Hi, Lucas. Hi, you rascal.
almost got us both killed. Almost got us both killed. And he's like,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, no thoughts. No thoughts, just vibes.
Not a thought behind his eyes. I told my therapist, I'm like, "Yeah, like, this happened," and he's like, "Okay, but just you remember, he's a dog, and he was a dog before you got him," and all these things, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not crazy." Like, I'm
Yeah,
not pinning, like, everything on him, you know what I mean? I'm like, but I do still look at him, I do give him the side eye when he's, like, trying to be cute, and I'm like, "Fuck you." Yeah.
yeah,
Aw.
yeah,
What
I'm still mad at you.
Still very mad at you. What are you doing for today?
Oh, buddy. Oh, what am I doing today? I have to do some paperwork. I have to do some billing. I'm
Mhm.
so behind on invoicing. We talk about this all the time. I'm always behind on invoicing. I have to clean my apartment. I was so busy. I ran into a friend of mine, another stylist. I guess that was Monday. And I just was like, we were just having a catch up, and she said, "Hey, like, how's everything going, work wise?" Like, da da da. And I said to her, I was like, "This is insane. Like, normally summer it like kind of like slows down every year. This is the busiest summer I've ever had." And
Hmm.
she was like, "Dude, same. Like, what
Wow.
is going on?" So I'm so grateful to be
Mhm.
working, and I'm grateful to be busy because I like what I do and I like to be busy. I like to keep my mind busy, etc. But I'm also like, I have a life outside of work, and I'm falling behind in like real life. So I'm like, okay, wait, like I have to clean my apartment, I have to do laundry, I have to like da, 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 but at the same time I'm behind in invoicing because it takes so long. Like I have to sit and reconcile all of my receipts and my credit card statements and then sometimes we'll charge out on clients' cards. So then I have to like scan those receipts separately and send those to business management or whoever it goes to. It's a lot of, we talk about this a lot. Like it's a lot of paperwork and Excel sheets and scanning, and it takes a long time. And I think I'm really good at it. Like we were talking, actually, I was saying this to another friend, and I was like, what's so funny is when I was an assistant, that was like we were kind of just like thrown to the wolves, like handed a stack or like envelopes or ziplocs like full of receipts and being like, here you go. Like here's do all the billing for me. I do all of my own billing. Um just that was the way that I was trained and brought up in this business, I guess. And I'm really particular about the way that my receipts are done. And I have I call it like a wrap package that I send after every project or every shop or every whatever.
Wow.
So yeah, it's one of those things where it just like, but it's intensive and it takes a long time. But
Wow.
the girls now, we were laughing about this, my friend and I, and she was just like, all these girls, all these like stylists, these like, all the assistants now are like, we just want to shop. Like,
Right.
we
Right.
just want to like be on set with like celebrities, or we
Mm,
just want to,
girl,
and it's
no.
like, oh, wait. Like let me tell you, come here, youngster. Like, let me
Right.
tell you what it was like back in my day. Like,
Okay, Mima.
literally, literally. But yeah, so today is a catch up day. I have a friend's birthday. I've had 3 birthdays in a row. I was at a birthday Friday. I was at a birthday yesterday. I have a birthday today. And then Thursday, while you were at the Jeremy Scott event, I went to the Las Culturistas Culture
Oh,
Awards.
yeah.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
fun. I had a really great time. I love the Las Culturistas podcast. So, yeah, I got to go to the award show. It was really fun. It was really long, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
I've been out like for the last, yeah, like 4 nights. I'm so tired
Wow.
and I have so much to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, all
Oh.
good things, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
all good things, even though I'm behind and I need to invoice so I can get paid.
Kind of an important thing to cover.
Literally.
Yeah. Oh, but no, I'm
Yeah.
glad. I'm glad to hear that. You're living life. Great. Great. 'Cause
Grateful.
I'm yeah, right there with you. I'm like, "No, like, I'm gonna go" like, yesterday, I worked from bed in the morning because I
Yeah.
was sore from the gym, did leg days, my trainer killed me, and I was like, I need to do this, da, da, da." And I was like, "Wait a damn minute." I'm like, "I don't need to do anything." I'm like, let me stay here, let me start sending emails out and then recuperate, you know?" And
Sure.
yeah, great. I'm so happy to hear that. I mean, yeah, who no one likes to be behind on things, but girl, there's another Spanish saying that I love that I remind myself all the time. There is more time than there is life. Hay
Mm.
más tiempo que vida. So time will outlast you.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
like time will outlast like time will outlast everyone. Go
Yeah.
have fun. Do your thing.
Yeah.
You only
Life is
live once.
short.
Life is extremely short.
Absolutely. Oh my god. Well, with that, I know. With that, we are past our hour.
Yeah.
It was again
If you need
a
help
a quick
editing,
one.
send it to me and I'll, like, cut it I'll splice it, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Please.
I
It's
honestly like it's really not. I think I've got the hang of it. I just have to upload to YouTube, which I'm doing today, which is gonna be really great.
okay,
Another
dope.
thing on my list. It's, like, top on my list, but,
Yeah.
yeah, the editing has been really like, now that I understand, like, the program too, I just had to get,
Mm,
reacclimated essentially, and because
okay.
they've made updates. So, yeah, it's all good. We've been cranking them out. Again, this is our 7th, I think, 7th episode back, which is crazy. It flew. We're
Good.
almost at 2 months.
Yeah.
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 It's been really fun. I'm so happy. But yeah, anyways, until next time, sweet Lucas,
He's
keep your
clapping
fucking
too.
collar on. Yeah. His little pink paws. Shut up.
Oh, bro.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Well, I love you and I'll see you next
I
week.
love you too, and yeah, inshallah, we'll see each other next week.
Inshallah, exactly.
Inshallah.
Right,
Okay,
honey.
bye.
Bye.